right, Carol from Tacoma, Washington.
Great. Have you
That was
been
Carol.
there? Been to Tacoma?
What did I say? I'm sorry, Carol. I'm sorry, Carol from Tacoma, Washington. No, I've never been to Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah, it's nice. I used to drive through there. I used to have a client in Olympia, Washington. I'd fly to SeaTac Airport and drive down to Olympia.
I've had Olympia beer.
Okay.
Is that from
I don't
Olympia?
think that counts.
I don't think so, but it's close.
Olympia's come to you.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever had Olympia beer?
No.
It's very tasty.
And I've never been to Washington either. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Can I do a Roth conversion in 2020 and apply to 2019? I want to make sure I don't jump up into the next tax bracket. Carol, wonderful question. We get this often, and unfortunately the answer is no.
Yeah, it's a great question. And then, of course, there's a lot of confusion because you can do a Roth contribution, which is right now $6,000 per person per year if you have earned income, and $7,000 if you're 50 and older. That can be done all the way until April 15th of the following year. But a Roth conversion is where you take money out of your IRA, you convert it to a Roth IRA, and you have to pay taxes on the conversion. But that has to be done in the tax year that you want it to apply to. So December 31st is your cutoff date.
And unfortunately, the new tax law that was passed, a couple Decembers ago,
Yep.
is made a recharacterization prohibited.
Correct.
So whatever you convert, it stays.
Yeah.
Prior to that law, because Carol's what she's curious about, or what her concerns are, it sounds like, is like, well, I want to wait till next year till I do my taxes, so I don't convert too much of my IRA into a Roth IRA because you have to pay taxes on whatever that you convert.
Correct.
And so she's worried about jumping up into the higher tax bracket. So it's like, all right, well, how much do I convert? I don't know. My income's all over the place. Let me do my taxes so I know, hey, if I want to go to the top of the 12% bracket, 22 or whatever, I know exactly what to convert. But I don't know that answer until I file my tax return.
Yeah, in April.
Right, in April. This, what the hell are we doing here?
It makes it tougher. So I have two comments, Carol. One is, since you cannot do a recharacterization anymore, in December, you have to come up with your best estimate and convert that amount to fill up your tax bracket. Second comment is, if you overshoot a little bit, like let's say you're $1,000 over, it's only that extra $1,000 that's taxed at the higher rate, not your entire income. And a lot of people get that mixed up. It's only the extra that's over in that next bracket gets taxed at that higher rate. So it's not everything.
Carol, a couple of other cool techniques that you could potentially do, depending on how kind of savvy you want to be here, is that and we don't know anything about Carol. We just know that she's from a very nice place called Tacoma, Washington.
Yes.
And it's very close to Olympia, where they have really good beer.
We think.
Olympia is it's not really known for that, but it is the capital of Washington.
And so she could do one of, let's say it's $12,000 is the number to keep her in that bracket if she looked at last year's tax return. So she's going to do a guesstimate. She's going to look at last year's tax return to kind of see, am I close, right? So she could do, let's say, $1,000 a month into the Roth IRA, convert $1,000 a month. Over 12 months, that would be $12,000. As you get closer to, let's say, November, December, October, then you can kind of gauge. You can look at your W-2 to see how much money that you've earned, or if you have receipts or your 1099s or whatever. You can at least kind of trying to do a tax pro forma before the end of the year to get a little bit closer than your dollar cost averaging, it's called, into the Roth. You can do the barbell approach. Is that if, let's say, 12,000 is the number, maybe you do $5,000 or $6,000 right now, and then you wait until December, and then you kind of get a better guesstimate of what that's going to be. So different things that you can do just because of the recharacterizations are no longer. The sooner you get the money in the Roth, the better, because the compounding is going to grow tax-free for you.
Yeah, one other thing, Joe, is if Carol's self-employed, then perhaps she could open up a SEP IRA, Simplified Employer Pension Plan, and fund that enough to get her down to that right tax bracket that she wants to be in.
Yeah, if you're self-employed, you could do it.
Because you can do that after the fact.
Right.
You can do that all the way to the extended due date of your tax return, which would be October 15th in most cases.
So a lot of different planning ideas for you, Carol. Hopefully this helps. But yeah, if you want to do a Roth conversion, again, that's taking money from an IRA, 401k, or any type of defined contribution plan. You're converting those dollars from a tax deferred that will be taxable coming out at retirement. You're going to pay the tax up front on whatever portion that you convert sits in a Roth IRA. All of that compounding growth will be now tax free. So for a lot of you, there's a huge opportunity. We talked about the Secure Act last week, Al. The stretch IRA is no longer, potentially, if this thing goes through.
Which it looks like it will.
So you have to start planning, depending on what size of IRAs that you have, is to look at, well, does it make sense to pay a little bit of tax now? The answer might be yes.